What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a return to subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate support. Today's Friday, so I'd like to wish you guys a happy Friday, and you know what that means. The Storytime Stock Market Steve live stream starts tonight at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. And all are invited as always, and hopefully we have us a good time tonight. But I'm going to get back to this news, man. And this is a story I reported on and went off on earlier this week that broke out there in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out Indianapolis, involving this woman right here. This right here is Chantell Gardner, 33 years old, from Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, you guys have been rocking with me for a while, know who this woman is. This woman right here, ladies and gentlemen, left her 3-year-old son and 2-year-old daughter at a house in deplorable conditions while she would run out and chase ding-a-ling from her boyfriend. So they are 3 and 2 years old, and the little girl was found dead recently this week under a dresser. Now, she went to court, and the court documents are out. If the story wasn't bad enough before, how she neglected these children and treated them like puppies or kittens that you just put in the house and don't just let them do whatever. The court documents make this thing real bad. Brace yourself. Look.
Meanwhile, let's get to this crime tracker alert. An Indianapolis mother is now charged with murder and child neglect after the death of her 2-year-old little girl who was found in just horrible conditions.
Yeah, Fox 59's Jesse Wells has reaction to the charges, and we do want to warn you the pictures and details of this story are very disturbing.
According to court records, the victim's mother admitted she knew she was neglecting her young kids by letting them live alone and in filth for days on end inside this apartment building behind me. While the suspect did her best to hide that neglect, she insisted she did not physically harm her kids on purpose. This disgusting bedroom with a feces-covered crib and mattress is where a 2-year-old girl died over the weekend. Police claim the entire apartment where the little girl and her young sibling lived was littered in feces, urine, garbage, and rotten food. Preliminarily, doctors believe Skylar Gardner died from hypothermia, but her body was also covered in bruises and bite marks with a puncture wound on her neck and frostbite on her feet and hands.
It's so sad on so many levels.
Attorney John Tompkins isn't connected to the case, but says the victim's mother, Chantell Gardner, was charged with murder and neglect, not because she intended to hurt her child, but because prosecutors believe she knowingly placed her daughter in a deadly situation, leaving one question for a jury.
She knew it was bad. Did she know that someone would die?
According to this affidavit, Gardner told police she left her young children home alone for several hours every day and night while she stayed at her boyfriend's house. That boyfriend, Brian Thomas, is also charged with 2 counts of assisting a criminal. Over time, conditions inside the apartment got worse, and Gardner feared the neglect would be discovered. The affidavit claims Gardner said she tried cleaning the walls and maintaining things, but it became too overwhelming, and she eventually strayed away from the home altogether due to the smell inside the house.
None of that's a defense, but it's certainly worth noting that the systems that are in place to prevent this on a humanitarian level in our city failed.
Handling things on your own when they get to be out of control and unsafe is not the best idea. So we want to normalize this idea that asking for support is a responsible and good thing to do.
For their part, child neglect awareness advocates urge all parents to call the state's hotline and ask for help.
It's not about tearing families apart. It's about getting them the help and support they need before the really horrible outcomes happen.
Finally, the suspect made her initial court hearing today. She's now being held without bond pending trial. Jesse Wells, Fox 59 News.
Thanks for inviting us in at 6 o'clock, and we begin tonight with murder charges filed in the death of that 2-year-old girl who was found dead last weekend.
Police now tell 13 News that the mother is responsible. We want to warn you some of the details and the photos in this story could be disturbing to some.
Our Marina Silva has been following this story for us, and she joins us live in studio. She's got the latest on what happened to Skylar Gardner.
Well, Scott and Anne Marie, these are 21 pages of court documents detailing what allegedly happened to Skylar Gardner. Everything from how dirty the apartment was to how often they were given food to all the injuries both Skylar and her 3-year-old brother have. It's all listed right here. Their mom, Chantell Gardner, has been in the Marion County Jail. Her boyfriend, Brian Thomas, also has a warrant out for his arrest. It's been almost a week since 2-year-old Skylar Gardner died. This was the scene that night on Newberry Road. Chantell Gardner, the girl's mom, told police she would sometimes leave her 2- and 3-year-old children home alone for days at a time. According to court documents, Gardner told police she returned to the apartment Saturday around 6 p.m. after being gone since Friday at 4 when she brought the kids food. Gardner says she found Skylar underneath a dresser and cold to the touch. According to the autopsy for Skylar, she had multiple injuries contributing to her death. Multiple patterned bruising across her body, bite marks on her back, a puncture wound on her neck, and unknown injuries to her feet. Gardner also has a 3-year-old son. Court documents say he was also left alone in the apartment. He was taken to Riley Hospital. A nurse who examined the boy told police he had a distended stomach, had signs of food deprivation, swollen feet, and was weak and twitchy. When detectives went to the apartment, court documents say they were overwhelmed by the smell. These are photos investigators took. You can see what looks to be feces, food, trash, and clothing all over the floor. Gardner told police she would leave the kids alone and she often stayed overnight at her boyfriend's house. Her boyfriend, Brian Thomas, is now charged. He faces 2 counts of assisting a criminal. Thomas told police he had not seen the kids since the end of December, and Gardner told him family was watching them at night. Court documents say Skylar also had hypothermia, and when investigators took the temperature inside the apartment, the highest temperature they found was 51 degrees. Gardner told police she stopped taking the kids in public due to their smell. Documents say she told police it had been more than a week since she bathed them. Gardner told police she even stopped bathing herself at the apartment because of the smell. Instead, she was going over to her boyfriend's house. The kid's father is from Ohio. He told police he had given full custody to Chantell. He said he did not know how bad things had gotten.
Fucking disgusting. Trifling. That is your definition of trifling. Irresponsible and plain cruel. That is cruel as can be, y'all. And I mean, that right there runs me hot. Look at the fucking house. Look at the kids' rooms where the little girl was found dead in. That's a fucking biohazard. Said the house smelled like feces, urine. Said it was trash. So much trash you couldn't see parts of the floor. Y'all remember that initial story? You had a 3-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl in the house, wallowing among that filth that you as a mother are responsible for cleaning up. Having children ain't easy. But I'm going to tell you one thing. It was easy for you to go and lay up with that ninja and put your worries behind you that you have 2 lives that depend on you at a house that's a fucking biohazard, a pigsty, while you laid up there, ate good, and chilled with that man. They interviewed the boyfriend. He ain't shit neither. That's why they locking his dumb ass up. He currently out there, they looking for him. Yeah, the kids are with family. Dirty as that house is, you going over his house and washing up. I think a lot of what she's saying was a lie. I think she was going over there periodically and checking on him, probably once a day, like she said. But it wasn't like she was over there for a couple hours, then run back home. It don't even matter. That's too much time to leave babies alone that young. Did you hear what they said? Little girl had bite marks on her back. Kids fight. They got to be separated and all this stuff. Think about that. 2 siblings in the house, both of them starving. He biting on her and all this other type of stuff. Nobody's there to stop it. Kids hit when they're young. They don't understand. There's certain things they have to be taught socially. Says she had a puncture wound in her neck, various unexplained bruises, something wrong with her feet. They said she had frostbite on her feet. The fucking temperature of the house was 51 degrees. What does that tell you? She left the heat off because the house stinks so much. And you know when you turn heat on, that funk stink and it really accentuates and people would know something was wrong. And she didn't want to walk in a house that stank. She washed her ass over at old boy's house, but left that house for them kids to be their own personal kennel. Shit and piss all over the place. Are you fucking kidding me? Who are we fooling here? I never hit them. You ain't have to hit them. The funk was enough to knock them on their asses. I told you before, what kind of man can build with a woman like that? What kind of man lays up with a woman that only takes baths at his house? What kind of man deal with a woman that don't deal with her kids? I don't want to take my kids out in public because they stink so bad. So that means you didn't keep up the way they looked. Definitely didn't keep up their hair. I can guarantee you when they came and found that baby was looking really, really bad. Said the boy was weak and twitchy. Distended stomach. Like he was malnourished, like one of those starving kids in Africa. No disrespect. Come on, man. Come on. And you want us to believe, the smell got so bad, I just left it alone. It got overwhelming. It shouldn't have got like that in the first place. Part of being a mother and caring for the children that you had sole custody of was to what? Make sacrifices to make sure their life is better than yours. But you didn't do that. You selfish motherfucking ass, just like a lot of other people out here that choose dick, coochie, anything over their own damn kids, fun, whatever. And these kids got to figure it out. She let them children roam like it was, they were like just herd animals in a house. That was an apartment, a safe haven for them kids. It was a fucking zoo and a kennel. Little girl gone. Look at her. Gone. Don't make you mad? This don't anger you. Where's the outrage in this? Where's the outrage in that? Her black life ain't matter? I'm gonna stop even saying this shit. I done said enough about it, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is the problem we got out here. This is the problems that need to be addressed. People that have kids, but don't have any type of parental instinct in them. Watch this. Had sole custody of kids. I'm sure you was getting some type of monetary benefit from it. That's why you ain't give them back to the dad when they was over your head. You was overwhelmed. You could have called that nigga in Ohio and said, hey, listen, I need help. You might not like me or regardless of our situation, but these babies need attention. I'm more than sure he would have did something, but you didn't do nothing. You kept your mouth shut. Mum's the word. You collected motherfucking money, collected dick, and them babies suffered for it. They suffered. And one of them's gone. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Fuck this shit.